Right, so we are ready for another muzzle game, and this one is called Hide Your Face. Hide Your Face is something we bring into a lot of our training classes in person and online. It's one that is a lot of fun for dogs. My dogs love playing Hide Your Face. It can lead to other types of exercises as well, but it's particularly good for muzzle training because it helps our dogs find just putting their nose and their faces into items much more fun, much less daunting, which means it helps with the muzzle training side of things from early on. So we're going to start by thinking about our dogs. If they've never done this before, we want to start with something that's a good size for your dogs to put their face into. So you don't want anything too small, but you might find that you can progress quite quickly if the dog's comfortable with this, and you can go to something smaller, or you might find they're a little bit unsure and we need to go bigger to start with. So I've got 3 small dogs, so I can go quite small to begin with. We're going to start with just a plain box. This is just a delivery box. I've pushed the sides in. You don't want them flapping about in front of your dog, so either remove them or push them right in. Thank you, Pepper. And you can go bigger. You know, it can be whatever size is going to work for your dogs. And what we are looking for our dogs to do is to voluntarily put their nose and their face into the box basically while we're holding it. Okay, so there's 2 ways of doing it. One, if we're teaching this as a trick, we tend to do without a lure of a treat being inside the box. And of course there might be a dog that watching, well, not the dog, you might have a dog yourself watching this who isn't that keen on treats, so actually we need to kind of go with toys. But when we're doing this because we want to work towards something like muzzle training, then there's no harm in starting off with a treat, because we can use the treats for everything anyway. So what we're going to do, if I get up here, I'm going to have my box, however works best for me. I'm going to take my piece of treat in my hand, and I'm going to show you both ways. So I'm going to initially just make a big fuss of the box. So there's no treat in there at the moment. Oh, what's in here? What's this? This is really good, Merle. This is really good. And when I show him, this is Merlin, he's going to want to put his face in to see what I'm looking at. Oh, what's in there? Yes, good boy. And then I can reward him. So if you're working with a dog that doesn't really like treats and you're going giving them a toy, this is one way to do that, you see. So they put their face in, you praise them, and then you can chuck the toy for them or give them the toy, or even throw the toy into the box afterwards. But they're then getting the idea that putting their face in got the toy in the first place. The other way to do it would be to literally just put your treat inside the box. So the treat is in there now. Ripley, yay, can you find it? What a good girl. So they literally then are just easily putting their face in to get the treat. Okay, so if your dog is really unsure, that is one way to get started. And in fact, I would go bigger. If my dog's really not sure about putting their nose into a good size box, I would go to a bigger size item. Okay, so like I say, you can literally go with whatever works for you. This is a cake tin, or plastic cake tin lid. So it's a really nice size for my dogs. It's light because it's not quite see-through, but it's letting in a lot of light for them. So it's going to make them feel much more comfortable. So Mel, ready? What's this? Can you hide your face? Yes, good boy. And so once they're starting to actively put their face in on their own, if you can get that, Ripley, yes. That's when we want to start adding in some sort of word to make it into a nice game. Pepper, yes, good girl. And so I say hide your face or hide face, but it can be whatever you like. You can say in or face or hide or anything really. Whatever works for you is absolutely fine. And all you want to do is when you've done this a few times, yes, oh, we've got double. Without saying a word, once you know they're going to put their face inside when you lower the item, yes, good girl. That's when you start saying your word. So as you can see, all 3 are putting their faces in quite happily. So I know that I can now bring a word in, no problem at all. Merlin Cow, hide your face, good boy, good boy. Ripley, hide your face, good girl. And Pepper Potts, hide your face, yes, good girl. Got it? Yes. Now, really important, notice I'm not putting it onto my dogs. I'm holding it still. Yes, good girl. They are putting their faces in. One reason that muzzle training can go backwards is because we are putting the muzzle onto the dog. So the dog goes, whoa, I don't know what's happening here. I have no choice in the matter. I don't like this situation at all. But when we change it round and say, right, you put your face in when you're ready, they are in control of the situation. They know what's going to be coming. They can prepare for it, and it automatically just makes things a lot less worrying and daunting for our dogs. So keep your items still. Yes, good girl. Let them put their face in, and then they get the treat for having done it. Where is it? There it is. And once they're okay with a good size item, you can, of course, then get smaller and smaller. So, you know, this is completely see-through, so really good for a dog that's a little bit unsure. Mel, you going to turn around a little bit? Melly, hide your face. Yes, good boy. Ripley, hide your face. Yes. Good. I could go down another size. This is an ice cream tub. Cleaned, obviously. Although, you know, you could leave something in the bottom for your dog to lick. That's one way of getting them to put their face inside. Pepper, hide your face. Good girl. And hide your face. Yes. Nice. And of course, again, if I go smaller and my dog isn't too sure, I can either go back to the bigger size, or I can just put a treat inside the pot. So like I've just chucked the treat in there for my dog to take out. That's very clever. Because can you get it? Yeah, you got it. Good girl. Good pots. It's there. Find it. Yay, good girly. So that then just really helps them want to put their faces in. As you can see, they really want to put their faces in. You can then go to something else. You can try cones, cones with holes in, cones without holes in. You can go to whatever size you want, basically, okay? And then you can then move on to the muzzle at any point. So if you find that when you present your dog with anything, they put their face inside, that's a really good time to move on to, move on to the muzzle. As you can see, they like a muzzle. They think they're great. And you do exactly the same sort of thing. You just hold it open. Hang on. Just hold on. Right, Merlin, you turn. Good boy. Hide your face. Properly. Yes, good girl. Oh, good girl. Good boy. Sorry, Merlin. Ripley, hide your face. Hide it. Yes, good girl. And you can see again, I'm holding my muzzle completely still. Pepper, hide your face. Yes, good girl. Hide your face again. Can you turn a little bit? Yes, good girl. Yeah, so they aren't questioning it. They go, yeah, we can put our face in things. That's no problem at all. So they're quite happy to put their face in there. I don't need to cover it with loads of paste. I can literally just hold it and they put their face in quite happily. But you still have the option of putting something inside it. Put a treat in, putting paste inside, or anything else that you might want to add in. If your dog has had an experience with a certain type of muzzle and you're now going back to basics, then I would stick with fun items for a while before going back to the muzzle. And in fact, if you can get hold of a different material, different style, that may actually be a good way forward. If your dog's got a bit of an association and thinks, yeah, I don't want that on, I know what that means. You could start by going to a different kind of muzzle completely. So this is an old style soft muzzle. So I might try that first and then move back to my Baskerville version. It depends on my dog and what they've had experience-wise before. These guys have only ever had positive experiences, so they're all fine with that. But if I had a dog that maybe had muzzles put on when they were out, you know, in an emergency at the vets, or if they're at the groomers, something like that, and a muzzle was needed, but at that point they hadn't been muzzle trained, it's going to be a bad experience. They may well find that actually they can't get past that with that muzzle, so you need a different type. Okay, so that muzzle game is hide your face, start something big, make a big fuss of it. Oh, what's this? What have I got? Look. And as soon as your dog puts their nose or face in there, yay, brilliant. Give them the treat or chuck the treat in for them to take. The other way of doing it is to put the treat in already and just hold it still for your dog to put their nose or face in to take the treat out. Let them take it, let them eat it. They don't need to keep their face in at all at this stage. Make sure you keep the item still. Don't put it towards your dog. Your dog needs to be the one that goes to it. And then try just different items, different sizes, different shapes, different materials. Some are lighter, some are darker, and really, really help your dogs to learn that putting their face into something actually is fine. It's not scary. Exactly. You can build that up to asking them to do hide your face twice, and then they get the treat. So they put it in once. Yay, and again, then you get your treat. You can build it up as